A lot to talk about here. Let's get right into it.
Let's do it.
Excuse me, I just burped. Welcome to Yank Your Mets, another edition of Yank Your Mets. The start of the season is here. I am your host, Phil Wolf. I'm joined as always by my co-host, Chad, Mr. Met Vossen. Chad, it's good to see you. Happy opening week.
Yes, happy opening week to you too.
How come you don't seem that happy? I feel like we should be so happy.
We're undefeated. I want to know. I mean, I've never been higher. Optimism abound here for the Mets this year.
Well, the Mets have a pretty good opening day record, don't they? I think
it's the best in baseball, I believe.
The best in baseball, which is like, if you were to pick a team, name the team with the best opening day record, the Mets might be the last team you would pick. They'd be the last team I'd pick. But they crush it on opening day.
They do, and it was even during the 90s, like when we were god awful. I remember, just we wouldn't lose, we couldn't lose, and hope always sprang eternal in my breast on opening day.
Well, it's we're off to a great start. We're recording this on a Saturday, so the Yankees have already played a couple of games. The Mets are due to play their second game today against the Pittsburgh Pirates, having won convincingly 11-7 in their first game. The Yankees taking the first two games against the Giants in San Francisco. The Giants have yet to score a run, so I think they're eager to get back on the field and try to make things happen. But I want to talk a little bit about opening day. I think we should talk a little bit about the WBC. It's been a while since we've touched base on that. A couple of things that are happening in the league. There's the ABS challenge system. This is the first year that we're seeing that in effect in a regular season game. So a lot to talk about here. Let's get right into it.
Let's do it.
This is a new look Mets team for you. We've talked a little bit about, all the new additions. We got Bichette. We have Lou Bob. We have Marcus Semien. We have people playing positions we have that they haven't played before. Carson Bench. I'm referring to Jorge Polanco at first base. We have Carson Bench, who's made the roster, which is really exciting. Bo Bichette at third. So, you've won one game. You knocked Skeens out after 2/3 of an inning. Could you ask for a better start as a Mets fan?
Yes. I could. As a Mets fan, of course I could. Because I would have liked to see Freddie Peralta get out of the first, or just not get rocked. No, that was a great opening day. When Skeens, I was nervous about. That guy was either going to come out and throw 6 one-hit innings, or do that. And I'm glad he did that. Part of me is to I hope the guy's not injured, because, that's very un-Skeens-like. And I kind of wonder what was going on there. But hey, beating Skeens opening day, I was definitely nervous about that off the bats. And the first thing I thought of, I was like, well, we're pretty good on opening day, so we should be all right. We'll find a way. I thought it was going to be getting through the bullpen, though.
Yeah. No, when I saw the line, it was already 2-0. I think you texted and you were like, well, the Mets are off to a great start. And I didn't even look at the box score, but I knew Skeens was pitching. And so I thought, oh, well, they're going up against Skeens, and here we go. But it was just the top of the inning. The Pirates were the away team. So they scored first. They put 2 on the board against Peralta, not the start you want to see with your new acquisition. But then the Mets turn around and score 5 in the bottom of that frame. And like you said, you've never seen Skeens, struggle to that point. There was speculation maybe he was injured. In the back of my mind, I thought, well, let's blame the WBC because he was, maybe ramping up a little too early. I think he only pitched like 1 or 2 games. I wouldn't blame the WBC. He sounded like looked like he was okay, minus the 5 runs. But
in 2/3?
Yeah, in 2/3. But this is, I want to give some credit to this is new revamped Mets lineup. From top to bottom, you got guys that are just ballers. These guys grind out at bats, and they made him work. They did. They really made him work, and it started at the top. Lindor walked 3 times.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I could only listen to the first couple innings because I had a flight on Frontier, which apparently, I didn't know this. They don't have Wi-Fi, so I was like, this is great.
Who doesn't offer Wi-Fi on flights now? We'll get into that. That's another episode.
Frontier. Oh, that's a whole, I'll do a whole, I had a whole stand-up routine going with it on a text chain about how awful Frontier is. Don't get me so I'll just read you all the shit I was writing about their shit. Anyway.
This episode brought to you by United Airlines.
But I mean, to me, the biggest at bat of the day was Beatty, and it couldn't have happened to like that guy is such like the unspoken linchpin. Like, and I think with everything that's going on with the Mets and all the chaos that has ensued with that roster, it's almost the best thing that could have happened to Beatty because now he can just come in. He knows, well, I mean, now that he's not traded, he knows he's on the roster and it takes a ton of pressure off. And to me, that's like you're facing Paul Skeens, bases loaded game. You know, I think it was 2-1 at the time, probably at that point, or maybe 2-2. But to get that bases clearing triple, I was like, all right, good for you. Sure, yeah, he went up for 4 the rest of the day. I don't care. Like that at bat was massive for him, his confidence, and everything moving forward. So super psyched to see that coming out of Beatty, I guess the new super sub. Or whatever, because he's a man without a home. He's playing DH, but that was dope. And yeah, I do like the lineups that work the counts. And Lindor set the tone, just with that walk right off the bat. Like
thank goodness he was ready for the start of the season.
The hamate bone. We check out our last episode where we get into some amazing hamate bone coverage. If you really want to see some top-notch medical diagnosis by Phil and myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was a great win to start the season for sure.
It's a great win. Lindor was ready. Just looking at the lineup, yeah, Beatty 1 for 5, but with 3 crucial RBIs that give the Mets the lead in that moment against a guy like Paul Skeens.
Set the tone.
The thing that stands out to me about this lineup is there's just no holes.
Yeah,
I mean, you have Benj in the 8th spot, but and he's your recent call-up. You have Francisco Alvarez batting 9th. He's the number 1 overall prospect, former number 1 overall prospect. He's batting 9th. He went 2 for 4. And he finished the season pretty strong last year. Is that right? Yeah, I mean, so they're still very high on him. Think that he's going to be, middle of the order type hitter, batting 9th because you have guys like Bichette, Polanco, Lou Bob in the middle that are just slugging. Simeon batting 7th. I mean, this is like a top of the order guy, but where are you going to put him when you're stacked with Lindor, Soto, and guys like Bichette at the top? Like, this is such a deep order.
It is. It's a deep order when things are going right, and after one game they are. So yeah, I do like the length of the lineup. I mean, I would argue that last year's lineup was also fairly deep. I mean, but hey, there's like, 1 or 2 holes there. This one so far doesn't seem to have holes. So we'll see how it goes. I like the length.
I think last year, Vientos was in the starting lineup and he's a guy who's probably going to be coming off the bench a lot this year. But when he's capable of hitting 25, 30 home runs in a season, that's a lot of pop and versatility on your bench when you need a guy to come in against maybe a left-hander or, a defensive substitution. You wouldn't put him in late for his defense, but if you needed a guy who could play third and get a bat, like he's a guy.
Yeah, he's pretty versatile as long as he doesn't play the field.
I just think this is a much scarier lineup. Yes, you are without Pete Alonso and all of the thump that he brought to this team and, the wizardry of Jeff McNeil, who is always, he's a bit of a wizard. He just finds ways on base. Maybe it's just because he's old looking. I don't know. He looks like a wizard.
Yeah, we'll go on an adventure with him.
But
like, come to my village and we'll go set off in the middle of the night. Yeah, it'll be great.
There you go. This lineup is going to be great, I think. And, I think a little bit of that got into Paul Skeens' head. I think he looked at this lineup and thought, yes, Robert Jr. has some health issues and you want him to stay healthy. And yes, it's just one game, but everything, 11 runs on opening day against a Paul Skeens-led Pirates team is a pretty damn good start. You talked about Freddie Peralta. 5 innings pitched, 4 earned runs. He got 7 Ks.
I don't care.
The stuff was there, but I'll tell you, the team doesn't care about earned runs. I think obviously, like earned run average is a stat, right?
Okay,
they don't, and this is why they don't want it to be like super inflated, but a guy like, Devin Williams, who had like a 4 or 5 ERA, the Mets felt comfortable bringing him in because they realized like the stuff is still there. We can bring the ERA down, and there's other metrics that we're judging pitchers off of now. I know, and this is a completely different conversation. I just think that if you see Peralta and he's striking out 7 in 5 innings, that's a positive sign. Is it the best outing? Of course it's not. But, and against a team like the Pirates, look, the Pirates have some hitters too. And so I think there's something to build on. He gets the win, even having given up 4 earned runs. But it's just the first game. You got Peterson on the mound today. I guess McLean will start game 3.
I hope.
He's still on the Mets, right?
Yeah. Maybe it's the World Baseball Classic. Maybe they're just trying to save his arm. I think Peterson's going to be again, sort of like Beatty. Peterson's probably the one who's going to benefit from all the offseason chaos the most. I think he has the chance to have the highest upside on the staff. Like in terms of, okay, Peralta, you expect to do X, Y, Z. McLean, everybody has already given Cy Young finalist awards to. He's the lone lefty. We need him. I think he's going to be an important linchpin to this team. He's the only guy that gives you length. Peralta, again, opening day, he's not going to go past 5, but I have a feeling that's going to be a pretty recurrent stat line from Peralta. 5 innings, 7 Ks. How many runs? Who knows? 2,
we'll see.
5, 4,
right.
1.
Yeah.
And then are we going to play old Yankee ball and just bash everybody to death when he's on so he gets some wins. We'll see.
We'll see. I mean, we haven't talked much about the rotation because I think everyone was focusing on. We haven't talked much at all. But I was just looking ahead, Senga's slated to start on Tuesday, and he had a pretty good spring. And I think, so if he's slotted as your number 5 starter, that's a pretty deep rotation also. I'm not saying it's going to end that way. Maybe he works his way back up to the top of that rotation by the end of the year. Doesn't matter, really. I don't know. But Senga, Peterson, Holmes, who's a stabilizing force last year with Peralta and McLean, is a really good rotation, a very good rotation, which should keep you in theory in most games. And you have the offense. The question becomes the bullpen.
And this is why I think I'm talking about all these unspoken things, but Tobias Myers, that acquisition, I think, is going to be probably one of the most appreciated by September. Mm-hmm. It comes in 3 innings. He's going to be the guy that bails these starters out and gives them 2-3 innings when they can't go past 5, because I think Peterson's the only one that can on this team. So he's going to be used sort of like that, super sub where he comes in, gives 3 innings, takes 2-3 days off. Well, probably 3 days off, comes in and bails out the next guy. So I think they'll be doing that a decent amount. I'm guessing they're probably going to try that with Minaya as well, until he's whatever his deal is. But they have 2 guys that can come out of the pen and give them length and not burn through the bullpen like they have in the past. I did not like dealing Jose Buto because he gave them that 2 to 3 inning sort of stopgap when the starter didn't go well. And if you're in a 5-4 game and your starter's giving up 4 runs, you want to stay ahead, or down 5-4, you want to keep in it. And Buto would come in and give them 2 plus, keep them in the game, come in the middle of an inning, get out of a bases loaded jam or whatever.
He was good, yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like the Mets have a couple guys now on the roster that can do that, and I'm guessing that's part of Almighty Stearns' approach to this, to the staff, because we have nobody that can give us length. Although I don't know anybody in baseball that does. And dare I say,
they just don't want it now. Because they know they have arms in the pen. That's what it is.
Yeah. And dare I say, the Mets staff is almost as deep as the Yankees.
I was just about to say the Yankees are also looking pretty good, and that's an excellent segue. Let's talk about my Yankees for a little bit. So I was out in San Francisco for opening day, which was exciting. Never been to Oracle Park. And so convinced my wife to let me to take a trip out there and come back the very following day. No, this was a solo trip. I left early Wednesday, 6 a.m., landed in California by 11:30 Cali time, and had a few hours to go before the game started at 5 Pacific. Have you ever been to Oracle Park?
I have not.
It's amazing. I've never even been to San Francisco. So even just getting to see the city was a lot of fun. But I thought to myself, this is like a once in a lifetime opportunity. It's opening day at Oracle Park, a park I've never been to. It's Yankees, it's Giants. It's amazing. So I went and it was awesome. And we won 7-0, and it was great. We looked really good doing it. Max Fried, maybe not as sharp as you would expect or want, but he still grinded out a win, didn't give up an earned run. I think they had 2 hits through 5 or 6 innings, only 3 throughout the entire game. So again, top to bottom, the lineup got it done. It would have been nice to see Aaron Judge do something opening day. 0 for 5, 4 Ks, not the performance you want to see from your star. But it's also a great sign in that the rest of the team can pick him up when he's not producing, which he did not, and everyone else kind of carried. It's the opposite. He was the anti-producer, and the rest of his team picked him up, and everyone looked really good doing it. And I think the key to this lineup is the bottom of the order, getting production from the bottom of the order, the McMahons, the Wells, the Caballeros of the world. Everyone expects the world from the Judges and the Rices and the Bellingers and the Stantons, the Chisholms. But what's Caballero going to do in Anthony Volpe's place? What's McMahon going to do with his revamped swing and trying to lay off pitches? What's Wells going to do in his 3rd full year, trying to cut dodown on the swings and misses? And they all produced. They all came up in big spots, and they came away with a really big win and won the second game too, 3-0. So I'm riding pretty high to start this season. I think the Yankees look pretty damn good.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. I really have nothing more to add because that. I just think your staff is so deep, and you got Fried coming out of the gates, tossing scoreless innings unlike Peralta. But then you have, then you have Schlittler follow up day 2, and it's let's just run it back again. Let's change the name on not on the back of the jersey because there are none, but we'll just change the guy's name and give you a similar stat line. The Yankees. And then, of course, Judge does judgy things and hits his home run day 2.
Finally got his home run after a successful ABS challenge.
Yes. Oh, is that a segue?
It can be. I do want to talk about the ABS challenge, but I think, Judge hit the home run. Schlittler came in 5 1/3 with 8 Ks, only gave up 1 hit. I mean, he's a front end starter on any team. And I was happy to run it back this year. A lot of people thought, we came up short. We didn't really look good against Toronto. Why are we going to run it back? But the thing is, this team was built very, very well. Your backup first baseman is Paul Goldschmidt. Your backup first baseman is a former MVP and leadoff hitter. He's a lefty specialist. He comes in against the lefty, and he came up with a double and a run yesterday. He's 1 for 5, which is, not great, but a big hit. So super pleased with this team. Jazz is making plays. The defense looks sharp. And, I think coming out of spring, I would have loved to see Spencer Jones or Jason Dominguez break camp with the team, but I think it's just too deep of a roster, and you got guys like Grisham who's kind of blocking those guys from coming up, and that's we can get into the $22 million contract and the 1-year offer and all of that, but we have stars waiting in the wings if we need. But right now, this team is looking really good.
Just deep. It's really well constructed. I will be surprised if they're not in the ALCS. I mean, if they're not, there's got to be injuries somewhere. Where I don't know. Maybe if Judge goes down, I don't know.
I can guarantee you Stanton will probably find the IL at least 1 point this year.
Oh, that's a given.
But again, then you bring up Spencer Jones or Jason Dominguez.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a deep, really well. And I agree with you. I don't think what could the Yankees have gotten this offseason that would have satisfied
change anything.
The average Yankee fan.
Right. I mean,
we're never everybody.
We're never going to be happy. I mean, we're walking away with a 7-0 win after opening day, and I'm like, God damn it, Judge, it went over 5. I'm focusing on the negative. I did want to talk about the ABS system because I think that's, a great addition to the league, and I think it's going to benefit hitters. I think it'll benefit anybody, but I think for, probably hitters more so than most. Did you get you only got to listen to the game? Did you
I listened until we took off.
Until you took off. Okay. How did you feel about the ABS system, like when you had first heard about it, and have your feelings changed since that?
I think I like it because, well, look, I think the amount of replay in all the other sports makes it, and already in baseball makes it. Why not? Why shouldn't? It's like the most critical part of the game is balls and strikes. And in a way, I also think it'll help keep the umpires more accountable, right? Like
Definitely.
they want to do a good job. They want to make sure they get it right so they're not replaced by AI. It's
Story of our lives.
So, I mean, I like it. It's going to be interesting to see, I hear like, ooh, the Mets, Mendy's philosophy is save it for the, until after the 6th inning or whatever. So I like it. I think it'll, help keep the game modern, because it's not, you're not going to have like Eric Gregg back there, just striking everybody out because that's what he felt like doing that day. But yeah, I mean, I think it's good for the game at the end of the day because some BS calls and I'm interested to see how Soto plays this out and see who the league leaders are going to be in calling this.
Oh, because it's going to be its own metric, and there's going to be like percentages and who's the best ABS, caller. Soto is just a fun at bat to watch anyway. When you add this element of when's the challenge going to happen, I think it just adds an element of intrigue to it. But guys like Judge, who are the victim of those really low strikes, I mean, he had a call reversed on a challenge and he hit a home run that same at bat, right? So I think it's going to help guys, like you said, it's going to help umpires, get their shit together and, tighten up their strike zone a little bit. But I think it's a benefit to hitters. And the big thing is, I think the rollout of this was pretty smooth because you have to keep the game moving. And what wouldn't have worked is if this took longer. I mean, when challenge was first introduced to baseball, I think we were all happy they were getting the calls right, but it just took a long time. I don't know if you remember, like they'd have to call to the booth and the home plate umpire would just like stand in the back with his hands on his hips and they would just like wait around and like nobody was doing anything. But this is instantaneous and it's right there on the board. They've had time to sort of plan this out and develop it so it doesn't really interrupt the game. And it's fun. You want to see that you just want to get that ball, like hit the sliver of the zone, right? And it's exciting.
I'm looking forward to the fans bitching because some guy called did the tap, got it wrong, and then Soto's sitting there in the 8th inning with a runner on second, third, and he's like, I wish I had a tap, but I'm out.
Well, that's the other thing. You think there's a discussion like pregame or even preseason? Like only these guys have the benefit of the tap, like, are you going to give that to Carson Benj in that moment?
I would hope that the managers give everybody sort of like free reign until you get it wrong. It's like if Benj gets up there and he's like 0 for 2, the Carlos, I'm sure, is going to take him aside and be like, look, buddy, look, Rook, how about you take it easy on that and only let,
pump the brakes on your challenge.
Yeah. We got somebody with the double deuce on his back that should probably be calling that. I'm looking forward to kind of seeing how, because it's a whole nother strategy it's another game within the game. As baseball probably has more than any with all the swapping and the changing that you can make.
Yeah.
But it's another game and another sort of thing now that managers already have so much to deal with. Now you're just going to give them something else to worry about.
I think they designed the rule really well in that it has to be called immediately. It can't be look into the dugout. I mean, I don't even think the manager can call it. I think it's got to be the pitcher, the batter, or the catcher, and rightfully so. They have the best idea. of where the ball is. The pitcher actually, I'm not even sure their perspective is that great because by the time they fall off the mound, they're not looking down the barrel. The catcher probably has the best perspective, but it's got to happen like that. And you've seen a couple of guys just like, whoop, whoop, that's it, you know? And I think it's worked out in the batter's favor. So it's going to save some batters. It's going to be a fun game within a game, like you say. And kudos to baseball for getting it right. Well, you and I haven't had a chance to chat about the WBC. The United States lost to Venezuela in the final. Although I found the entire tournament very riveting. I watched almost every U.S. game I could, in addition to some other, eliminating rounds. But I love the WBC. I thought it was a lot of fun. I think people have mixed reactions, although I feel like it was pretty well received by fans. And I think it's here to stay. I mean, it's already been around for like 20 years, but I think maybe this was the first year that really garnered like a ton of interest. You had all, the big name stars. You had Judge there for the first time, and some really like high profile talent making up the U.S. team. But these other teams were also super competitive, and you just saw. If you watched the raw emotion from some of these countries like Venezuela and the Dominican Republic. I mean, teams you expect to be there, but everyone was just having so much fun. And that's exciting to see in baseball, which is generally regarded, I think, as kind of a very traditional sport. And, you don't break the rules and all of this and that. But I don't know. What was your take, Chad? I'm interested to know what you think.
I just have zero interest in the WBC. Like I'm not going to fake it. I'm not going to be, and I get why people like it. Yeah. I mean, I get why people like it. I just, to me, it's March. Like guys aren't even fully ramped up. It's a 1-game playoff. Like, come on. Like, okay. So now Venezuela is considered the best country in the world because they won a game. Congrats.
7 games. They've won 7 games or 6 or 7. Yeah.
Whatever it was, 6, 7. Okay, all right. So it was riveting. It was a good game. I didn't watch it, but all the highlights seemed like there were some pretty pivotal moments and lots of excitement. But it's the same thing for me with the Olympics. This whole, when you if they did it something along the lines of take a cut, have a tour, treat it sort of like the All-Star game, do it mid-season, do it a couple times like on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday or something like that. Extend the season to on either end or whatever, where the injury risk is less. And granted, I don't think anybody massively pivotal went down, but look at hockey in the Olympics. There were a bunch of star players that got hurt, and Rantanen's out, for a while. Diaz, I can't not think of Diaz. And you're ramping these guys up and putting them in high pressure situations in March. And I think that's just extremely unfair to their season and their development and their health. It's, you're asking these pitchers to go out and throw high pressure, playoff style games in March when they haven't even, they've tossed maybe 3 innings in spring training. I just think I don't like it. Who knows? Is Skeens hurt? I don't know, but who's the face of baseball in if not in baseball, at least in Pittsburgh. And now you can't tell me that there wasn't, something going on from that.
It's this weird whatever baseball classic, whatever. I think you do bring up a good point because on one hand, I think it's a great way, and this is why we do this. It is a great way to grow the game. It's you want to see your stars in the thing that helps grow the game, which is the WBC. But then you also risk the injury, to your point, if Paul Skeens were, for instance, to be hurt, or Aaron Judge or Pete Alonso, whoever's on the team. But if Aaron Judge got hurt, it's okay, he's in the WBC, but then what does that mean for the season? Then people don't watch the Yankees, and the Yankees aren't as good because Aaron Judge isn't there. So it is a risk, certainly, and you don't want guys to get hurt. And of course, Mets fans are cursed because Diaz, tore his ACL celebrating. But I think I got that right. It was an ACL, wasn't it?
Who cares?
He hurt himself jumping
out for the year.
Yeah. So it is kind of like this. it's a bit of a double-edged sword that way. But at the same time, the games were just incredible. And the players are buying it. So like that gets the fans then involved because now the players are actually into it. And so I don't know when the best time to do it, though, is. I don't think the middle of the season is really great. You can't do it at the end of the season.
Yeah, I don't know. You can't do it at the beginning. You shouldn't do it at the beginning, but they do. Can't do it at the end because it's October. It's going to be too cold.
It's too cold.
Everything.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you could just do everything in Florida. It's not like the Marlins are going to be in the playoffs.
Just you wait.
Yeah.
Chaz,
they probably.
You just spoke it into existence.
I just did it.
Oh my gosh.
No, and I can't wait for that last game of the season where the Mets just need to beat the Marlins, and they don't. And it'll be Groundhog Day.
So you prefer your players for your team, the Mets or any other team, to have, maybe sit tournaments like that out and focus on the regular season versus, doing something for Team USA.
Yeah, ask me my perspective. Baseball has their perspective. They want to make money. Ask me my perspective. I don't want my players hurt. So like, I didn't want McClain in there. I didn't want McClain starting that game. And now it's like, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll see how it goes. We'll see.
Everybody's calling him basically Jacob deGrom. So we'll see.
All right, Chad, I think that's going to do it for us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Follow us on Instagram at Yank Your Mets Pod. TikTok at Yank Your Mets Pod. Like and subscribe. Do all the things. Catch us next week or whenever we're back on another week. Next week or any week.
Catch us every week.
Catch us every week. Follow us for more fun Mets Yankees chatter, and we'll be back hopefully soon. Chad, always a pleasure.
Godspeed.